Certainly feels like I'm back in New Mexico. And welcome to morning in the maybe a little bit skeevy hotel. It's all good. I'm just sitting here enjoying my coffee because I did my resupply last night, so I've got nothing to do until I leave town. On the recommendation of the guy that gave me a ride into town yesterday, I ran over to a local coffee shop / bakery for breakfast. So my shoes are obviously in their death throes. I don't have much choice but to last till the next town because Chama is kind of small, so I'm going to carry this roll. Worst case, I can wrap it around my foot and probably keep the tread on the bottom. It is a very high priority this off-season to find other shoes that'll work with my ridiculously wide feet. That hotel wasn't the best, but as they say, it works. So that hardware store / grocery was where I resupplied yesterday. And these clouds are looking like more rain. I seem to be just running into my Swedish friends all over the place. They were in the grocery store last night also. Those guys are taking a 0 today. Probably overdoing it with food again, but again, a little gun shy after the San Juans. I figure I should be able to settle into things now that the train's not going to be quite as rough. The nice thing is, once I do 90 some miles, at my next stop, I will actually have a box. So my pack will be a little more compact. I always get looks from people when I'm leaving town and they see how big my bag is. But, you know, grocery store resupplies, can't get the most compact stuff. Or I could, but I burned out on too much. This is my usual trick of getting a subway on the way out of town, and the rain alerts have already started. So far I've gotten one offer to get me 4 miles of the 12 I need. A car did stop, and it turned out it had my Swedish friends in the back because they were getting a ride across town from an outfitter that I hadn't heard about. The outfitter offered to give me a ride up to the pass for $30, but I decided to just hitch a ride over to take a look at their shop. Okay, these guys are kind of awesome. They were able to sew the arm back on my Jolly Gear. Back at it. I seem to have a slightly harder time getting picked up here. The outfitter was going to give me a ride, but they charged $30 because they got time and everything, and I already spent $100 with them. Yeah, reasonable to get to. A lot of the ones further south. Okay, that worked out. Local guy was going up here to hike, picked me up, and got me back on trail. I almost paid the outfitter for a ride up here, but they had these really cool alpha fleeces that were done in bright orange. And I kind of figured I'd rather spend my money on that and hitch. And it's looking like afternoon thunderstorms, but I don't care. I am getting the ever-living heck out of Colorado if it kills me. So nobody tell taters that I bought another fleece, please, but look at this. I mean, come on, perfect color. This stuff is actually a super light fleece that kind of breathes fairly well and really, really light. I have one from Senshi Designs, but it's curry color. I saw this and they were helping me out. They sewed my shoulder, you know. So hard to get bright orange and bright green colors. I kind of jump whenever I see an opportunity. This material is kind of interesting. It's called Alpha Fleece, and you can, pretty much see through it. It's actually really warm, and one of the latest trends is you pair this with like a rain jacket, and so you get both a really light fleece layer and then you get the wind protection coming from the jacket. More and more on any sort of just, anything but really warm weather, I like to have something a little heavier than just the base layer hiking shirt. So we'll see how this goes. That's why I have that R1 Air, same idea with the material. It's kind of breathable. So I've only got another 2 miles or so of the Colorado border. Got a little under 100 miles and 5-6 days of food-ish to get me to Goldie's at BQ. And new shoes are there, new battery is there, gaiters, and a food box. So I actually get, compact rice and beans instead of whatever I can scrounge from these little markets. I can resupply pretty much anywhere. I've done it out of Dollar General's, gas stations, you name it. But the ones that we can prepare, those tend to be significantly smaller volume. I mean, you can see my pack is pretty dang full. And the majority of that is, as far as what adjusts, is food. When my food is almost empty, this thing's folded over and looks like I could be using a circuit. I feel like I was having such a quiet and efficient morning until I tried to hitch, and that took a little longer. Plus, once I got to the outfitter, they were talking to me about various materials. Now that I kind of know the ins and out of the ultra fabric, it is interesting to talk to people and see like what other colors and things are available in the ultra grid material, which may not have the delaminating issues. And also they were making stuff out of EcoPack. My problem seems to be I'm just Matt, destroyer of gear. So my last 2 town stops, I had big goals coming out of town, and I got cut short both days. Today, I don't even really care. I feel like I can relax a little bit. I'm through the San Juans. I've still got some mountains I need to clear before winter really sets in, but I'm feeling much better about my timing and where I am in relation to the border and the season at the moment. So it's currently October 1st, 780 miles to the border, all of which I'm hoping to do, fire closures allowing. So I'm basically expecting to be out here until November sometime. It seems like my even keel pace is around 125 miles. I'll get up into the 150s sometimes, but that generally seems to be where things fall with the need for town stops, resupplies, stuff like that. Part of me really misses Taters and can't wait to see her again. Another part of me just likes being on track. No end in sight, feels like I've been out here forever, etc., etc. Granted, my contentment levels go down the higher the wind gets. Of course it's going to storm on me leaving Colorado. What else would I expect? This has been the good sort of rain, like Montana and Wyoming. It rains and then it stops, and it rains and it stops. And with it being so dry out here, don't have to worry about everything getting soaked. It's hardly worth putting a rain jacket on. I do believe this is the border. I think I might be more excited than this than I am about Mexico. Yee f***ing ha. I've been on a hunger strike till I was out of Colorado, or, for the last 2 hours. So I'm eating my sandwich before it gets too soggy out here. Well, on the downside, it's hailing. On the plus side, it's hailing in New Mexico. So, yay! And welcome to New Mexico. Just pulled a forecast at the border, and it said basically mixed rain and snow for the next week. I haven't figured out where exactly the dry section starts, but the more water that comes down in southern New Mexico over the next couple of weeks, the easier time I'm going to have of it. Not to mention, there's always the danger of a late season fire starting. Man, I wish this damn cough would go away. Every time I start going up a hill. As usual, fair amount of blowdowns. Looks like somebody had been working on the road portion, but once it got back to single track, it kind of gets what you get. Fortunately, I think most of the dead ones have already fallen down. I'm going to have to get clear of this before I can camp tonight, though. I'm just hiking down to a water source, and then I'll try and find a non-cow infested campsite. It's kind of a shame, there's been a bunch of really good ones, but I need a little more coffee water for the morning. And that'll work. Cowfield water, but it's clear. Okay, 6:10, filled up with water. I'm ready to stop, but I don't particularly want to camp right in the middle of a cow field. There are scattered trees, but I think I'm just gonna keep going until I find a good protected spot without cow plop everywhere where the wind's not going to hammer me if this storm blows over this direction. I just get all sorts of picky once I'm out here. Okay, I'm ready to get out of this wind. Home sweet home for the night. A stop like that's gonna spoil me. I usually spread out the hotels a bit more, but it was nice. It worked out, even if that hotel was a little bit run down. So despite my late departure, I made a solid half day, almost 11 miles. So I'm fairly happy with that, and I am very, very happy to be back in my tent. I really enjoy sleeping out, being in the tent, etc. I was actually really happy in the campgrounds for a while back in Orange County when we moved out of the apartment and just started jumping campground to campground. I think the thing that started affecting me there, I still really like the overall ambiance being out in the canyons and things like that. The problem is just other people. We have too many issues of people showing up, playing loud music, doing all those, people screaming at each other, late at night, stuff like that. But on trail,